the whir at 100 metres. Fastest in the heats and the semis. He will come under threat though from Bayanda Walaza, another 19-year-old, this time from South Africa, from the FISU University of Technology, part of the silver medal winning relay squad at the Olympic Games, the 100 and 200 metre world junior champion last year.
The gun fires at Lorheide Stadion in Bochum, Germany. 8 university athletes explode from the blocks in the men's 100-meter final. But what happens next defies belief. A 19-year-old from South Africa moves through the field so fast, so smoothly, that your eyes can barely track the motion. The clock stops at 10:16 seconds, gold medal around his neck. Bayanda Walaza has just delivered one of the most electrifying sprint performances in World University Games history. This race had everything: false starts that shattered nerves, a field packed with world-class talent, and a finish so close that mere hundredths of a second separated glory from heartbreak. The 2025 FISU World University Games brought together the planet's fastest university athletes. The men's 100 meters carried extra weight. Akani Simbine's Games record of 9.97 seconds from 2015 stood as the benchmark. 10 years later, a new generation of South African speed was ready to make its mark. The qualification process left no room for error. First 2 from each heat plus the 8 fastest times would advance to the semifinals. The standard was brutal. Only the elite would survive. But drama struck before the final even began. 2 false starts rocked the semifinal. Athletes were disqualified. Tension soared. South Africa had already lost 2 athletes to disqualifications earlier in the day. The pressure on Walaza intensified with each passing moment. "We've been preparing since January. My team stayed focused and we worked hard," Walaza would later reflect. That preparation was about to face its ultimate test. Lane 1 held Connor Bond. Lane 2 featured Dominik Olałski from Poland. But the real fireworks would come from the middle lanes. Hiroki Yanagita lined up in Lane 3. The Japanese sprinter from Toyo University carried serious credentials. He was the reigning 2-time Asian champion who had retained his title in 2025. The commentators noted his hunger to break the 10-second barrier for the first time. Lane 4 belonged to Purapal Boonson. The 19-year-old from Bangkok represented Thailand with distinction. He studied at Thornbury University and held the World Junior Silver Medal. More importantly, he had posted the fastest times in both the heats and semifinals. The target was clearly on his back. The center of the track, Lane 5, was where magic would happen. Bayanda Walaza, also 19, represented South Africa and studied at Tshwane University of Technology. He was part of the silver medal-winning relay squad at the Olympic Games. His resume included the 200-meter World Junior Championship from the previous year. His personal best of 9.94 seconds stood as the South African record and marked him as the only man in the field who had run under 10 seconds. Kyle Zinn occupied Lane 6 as Walaza's South African teammate. The 22-year-old from University of Western Cape was competing in his first major championship. He had finished third in both the heats and semifinals by time. His presence gave South Africa 2 finalists. Lane 7 held Riko Oishi, the second Japanese sprinter. The 20-year-old from Toyo University, same as Yanagita, had reached his first major championship final. His breakthrough performance had surprised many. The outside lane, number 8, featured Mudzaim bin Farani. The 21-year-old competed in the U.S. collegiate system at Auburn University. He brought bronze medal experience from the 2023 Asian Games. Pin drop silence filled the stadium. The athletes settled into their blocks. The tension was palpable after the earlier false start chaos. The gun exploded. 8 bodies launched forward. Hiroki Yanagita got the jump on the field. He surged ahead in the opening meters, his Asian championship experience showing. The Japanese sprinter looked smooth and controlled as he built his early advantage. But from Lane 5, something special was brewing. Bayanda Walaza's start wasn't the fastest, but his acceleration was otherworldly. He began eating up ground with each stride. Purapal Boonson, the semifinal speedster, was right there. His Lane 4 position put him in the thick of the action. The Thai sprinter had the form that had carried him to the fastest qualifying time. The race developed through 50 meters with Yanagita still leading, but Walaza was gaining. His powerful stride pattern was bringing him through the field. At 70 meters, the real race began. Walaza hit another gear. The South African teenager moved past Yanagita with authority. The margins were razor thin, but the result was clear. The final results painted a picture of elite-level competition. Gold, Bayanda Walaza, South Africa, 10.16 seconds. Silver, Puripol Bunsen, Thailand, 10.22 seconds. Bronze, Hiroki Yanagita, Japan, 10.23 seconds. Fourth, Mudzaim bin Farani, position recorded. Fifth, Kyle Zinn, South Africa, 10.42 seconds. Sixth, Riko Oishi, Japan, position recorded. Seventh, Connor Bond, position recorded. The winning margin was 0.06 seconds. In sprint terms, that's a comfortable victory, but the race was decided by the smallest of margins between second and third place. Kyle Zinn's fifth-place finish in 10.42 seconds marked a commendable performance for the South African newcomer. His teammates' generous applause after the race showed the team spirit that had carried them both to the final. Walaza's path to gold began long before he stepped onto the track in Bochum. The first-year humanities student at Tushwane University of Technology had been building toward this breakthrough. In March 2025, he became the first man of the year to break the 10-second barrier, clocking 9.99 seconds. That performance announced his arrival on the global stage. May 2025 brought his personal best of 9.94 seconds. The time established a new South African record and ranked as the 12th fastest senior performance globally. More significantly, it stood as the fastest U20 time of 2025. The Paris Olympics had provided invaluable experience. Walaza was part of the South African 4x100-meter relay team that claimed silver, finishing behind Canada. At just 18 years old, he had tasted success on the world's biggest stage. The World U20 Championships in Lima, Peru had been his coming-out party. Walaza won both the 100-meter and 200-meter gold medals. His 200-meter victory came after edging out Australian teen sensation Gout in the final. The double gold performance established him as the world's premier junior sprinter. Walaza said this after his 100-meter victory in Bochum.
So congratulations, gold medal. You're the fastest man on the 100-meter here at the FISU Games. I saw it was quite an emotional moment. How does it feel for you?
Okay, surely it feels great. Winning is a big thing to me. I don't take winning down. I don't look at winning like it's just a thing. Winning for me is actually an achievement. So I respect each and every win. I give thanks to each and every people who pulled up. The people who I was running with, the competition. So I don't take that for granted. So I'll say for me, it was perfect. I love it, and I'll say this is the moment I'll remember.
Who contributed most circumstances that you're standing here right now?
I'll say the team. The team that I have, because I've been preparing for this competition since from January, so it was something that was in my mind. I wanted to come here and see how it is. First of all, I wanted to come here for the reasons of experience, but my coach kept me in mind that I understand that you want to go there for experience, but don't remember that you need to win when you're there. There's a prize there, you need to get that gold. So I'll say the team that I had was one that's keeping me strong, telling me that I need to come here and pull up and be strong.
You already talked about the experience, the overall experience. How was it?
Okay, I'll say I'm enjoying it. I won't lie. I'm enjoying it. I like the culture here. I like how people live here. And it's safe. It's peaceful. It's not like South Africa, we loud and all of that. But here it's peaceful. It's quiet. And I love it here. I'll say I'm enjoying it.
Okay, thank you, and congrats once again.
Thank you.
2 days after his 100-meter triumph, Walaza returned to Loerheide Stadion for the 200-meter final. The 200 meters had been his breakthrough event at the World U20 Championships. Another gold medal would complete a rare sprint double. The 200-meter final took place on Thursday, July 24th. Walaza drew lane 7 for the final, placing him on the outside of the main action. Spain's Adria Alfonso Madero lined up in the adjacent lane 8. Walaza was the third fastest out of the blocks. His 200-meter technique differed from his explosive 100-meter start, but his race strategy was sound. Running the turn from lane 7, he had a clear view of the field. Coming off the turn, Walaza was perfectly positioned. he moved past Medeiros in the final straight with authority, his time of 20.63 seconds into a minus 0.3 meters per second headwind secured the gold medal. Medeiros held on for silver in 20.70 seconds. Lee Jae-song from the Republic of Korea claimed bronze in 20.75 seconds. The progression through the rounds showed Walaza's tactical awareness. He had run 20.93 seconds in the heats, then improved to 20.76 seconds in the semifinals. The final brought his best when it mattered most. "It feels crazy, just wonderful. I am truly honored and grateful to be here," Walaza said after completing his double. "This is another time I get a gold medal, a couple of gold medals at the World Games. This is a memory that I'll never forget. These moments I will remember because it is my step from being a junior to a pro. These moments are the moments I must keep. We shouldn't forget that we actually won 2 gold medals on the world stage, so we can also do it in the future." Sunday, July 27th, offered Walaza the chance for a golden treble. The men's 4x100-meter relay final would determine if South Africa could complete a perfect games. The South African quartet lined up against strong competition. The Republic of Korea team looked particularly dangerous. Their relay exchanges had been flawless throughout the rounds. The race began well for South Africa. The early legs kept them competitive with the leading teams, but the final changeover proved costly. Mthim Thimkulu's handoff to Walaza was messy. The exchange left South Africa chasing the field. Walaza received the baton with too much ground to make up. Even his devastating finishing speed couldn't bridge the gap to the flying Korean team.
Pan on the inside, and look at the Italians and Great Britain coming through. Oh, this is close, and it's de Grasse. Andre de Grasse.
This is the story of Bayanda Walaza, a 19-year-old South African sprinter who shocked the world with his talent, but somehow hasn't gotten the attention he deserves. In August 2024, Walaza became the first South African in history to win an Olympic medal while still in high school, running the lead-off leg in the men's 4x100-meter relay final at the Paris Olympics. Walaza helped power South Africa to a silver medal, finishing behind Canada with an African record time of 37.57 seconds. It was a moment of triumph that seemed to come out of nowhere, especially since just a few days earlier, Walaza wasn't even supposed to be in the final. Initially listed as a reserve, Walaza was unexpectedly called up when fellow sprinter Benjamin Richardson suffered an injury during the 200-meter heats. The teenager, who was also juggling preliminary matric exams at the time, had even considered heading back to South Africa before he got the call. It was also emotional because I didn't think I was going to run, then the next moment they're telling me I would be running, Walaza told in an interview. It made me strong. His performance under pressure spoke volumes, proving he wasn't just a junior standout, but a clutch performer on the biggest stage. If Paris was the announcement, Lima was the confirmation. Just weeks after the Olympics, Walaza flew to Peru for the World U20 Championships. There, he accomplished something no South African had done since 1998. He won both the 100 meters and 200 meters titles. In the 100 meters, he clocked 10.19 seconds. In the 200 meters, he edged out rising Australian star Gout in 20.52. Walaza became the first South African to win the 100 meters, 200 meters double at the U20 Worlds. His win over Gout, in particular, sparked discussions online, with fans calling it a glimpse of the next generation of sprinting rivalry. Walaza began his 2025 season by shattering expectations. At the Gauteng North Championships in March, he ran 9.99 in the 100 meters, making him the 9th South African to officially break the 10-second barrier and setting a new national U20 record. He followed that just 4 days later by clocking 20.08 in the 200 meters, surpassing Clarence Munyai's previous U20 record of 20.10. I am in the driving seat for now because I've qualified. It makes me relaxed, he said. I think it will be a good year for me. Maybe I'll feel pressure when it's close to September. But for now, all I'm thinking about is winning. In May 2025, Walaza competed at the World Athletics Relays in Guangzhou, China. South Africa's 4x100-meter team, anchored by Akani Simbine and led off by Walaza, claimed gold with a time of 37.61 seconds. It was a historic win that helped redeem the nation after past disappointments in relay competitions, including dropped batons and disqualifications in previous global meets. Walaza's composed execution in the high-stakes final helped set the tone for the team, solidifying his reputation as a pressure performer. That win ensured South Africa's automatic qualification for the 2025 World Championships in Tokyo. Walaza's running technique has earned him the nickname Wobble Wobble due to his flailing arms and asymmetrical form. In training, he maintains textbook mechanics with closed hands and upright posture. But in competition, the stress and adrenaline often trigger his signature flail. When I train, I don't usually run the way I do in competition. My hands are closed. My form is perfect in training. And then it happens when competition, when I don't notice, boom, I'm back to that running style. Like legends Donovan Bailey and Bob Hayes, who had similarly unconventional styles, Walaza proves that efficiency often trumps elegance. Despite his rapid ascent, Walaza remains a student of the sport. In June 2025, he traveled to Jamaica to race at the Racers Grand Prix, facing off against the likes of Oblique Seville and Kashane Thompson. Speaking ahead of the race, he admitted, "This sport is a sport where you have to face your fears. I'll say I have fears of racing people and I'll need to get over that. I need to be strong within and to face it." He emphasized that his current focus isn't chasing times, but mastering his craft. "If I start putting times first, it will actually kill who I am because I will start running for the times and forget what makes the sport fun," he said. The times will come with the perfect execution. One of the most compelling narratives in junior athletics today is the growing rivalry between Walaza and Gout. Their showdown in Lima added fuel to the fire. Since then, Gout ran a blistering 20.05 to win the 200 meters at the Queensland Championships, narrowly missing his national senior record. Walaza acknowledged the excitement around their rivalry. "People talk about this rivalry, which excites me and shows that people notice athletics. I've seen the comments, Walaza versus Gout. It makes me want to race him again." Bayanda Walaza has emerged as one of South Africa's most exciting sprinting prospects, with an Olympic silver medal, 2 U20 world titles, multiple national age group records, and a sub-10 clocking. His resume is already among the best in the country's sprinting history. His rise also comes at a time when South Africa is rebuilding its global sprinting image. Alongside seasoned stars like Akani Simbine and rising peers like Sean Maswangani and Benjamin Richardson, Walaza represents a new era. As the nation gears up for the 2025 World Championships and looks ahead to the LA 2028 Olympics, Bayanda Walaza is not just part of the future, he is leading it. If Bayanda Walaza just earned your respect, drop your thoughts in the comments. Like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you don't miss the next time he breaks a record or silences the doubters.
Walaza for South Africa is flying. Johansson on the outside also running strongly. But Walaza is being pursued by Jake Odie Jordan as it's a roll. Just too late. It is the double for Bayanda Walaza.
South Africa has a new name lighting up the track, and it's sending shockwaves through the sprinting world. Meet Bayanda Walaza, the 100-meter and 200-meter sensation that's turning heads and pushing veterans to the edge of their comfort zones. If you haven't heard of him yet, you will now. Born in the heart of South Africa, Bayanda Walaza didn't grow up with elite facilities or fancy shoes. What he had was a gift and a determination to match. Raised in a working-class neighborhood, he began running as a kid in schoolyard races, always the fastest, always a step ahead.
His natural speed caught the eye of local coaches by the time he was 12. Within a few years, he was breaking records at youth meets and making waves nationally. His family, recognizing his potential, backed him through local training programs, childhood photos, early race footage, coach interviews.
One coach recalled, he didn't just run fast, he ran smart. That's rare at his age. By his late teens, Bayanda had clocked a 10.34 second 100 meter and a 20.74 second 200 meter, numbers that put him in elite conversations.
Walaza! 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 Walaza!
Here comes Bayanda Walaza. Walaza's going to win this one, and he does so. 20.09. Oh
In 2022, he stunned South African fans with a blistering 200-meter performance that caught the attention of scouts and international analysts. Just a year later, in 2023, he clocked a personal best of 10.19 seconds in the 100 meters.